So I walk through Oxford City Centre every day. And every day, at least once a day, I'm asked for money, primarily for money to stay in a night shelter. And every time this happens to me, I think, I want to help. I want to help this person who's standing here asking me. But it's hard to know if giving money is the same thing as giving help in this situation, especially if you have seen the Your Kindness Could Kill campaign around Oxford City Centre. This is led by the Oxford City Council. And they tell you, do not give money to beggars on the street. You're more likely to be supporting an addiction than anything else, and you're more likely to be helping keep them on the street than helping the person themselves. If you actually do want to help this person, they say, you should donate to a local homelessness charity. On the surface, this sounds like a great idea. The problem is, even according to the campaign's own commissioned studies, there is no reliable data to show that people are giving more because of this campaign. This is despite the fact that over 20% of the surveyed public said that they did or would look into giving because of the campaign. We think that the reason for this is because you lose out on the instant gratification of the one-to-one personal human interaction that exists in the standard begging model. There's a moment here, there's a powerful, powerful moment that we're wasting every single day, hundreds of times a day, happening on the Oxford City streets. So what if we could harness that moment? What if we could combine giving to the homeless and giving to homeless charities? That's exactly what we propose to do with the spare change system. We will create a card that uses QR codes or NFC chips to inform the giver's phone how and where to send a donation. The Spare Change app will then fill in the payment info, including the card's unique identifier, and it'll direct the giver's bank or PayPal account to pay directly to the shelter on this asker's behalf. The giver will also determine what percentage of the payment should go towards that asker's stay at the shelter and what percentage should be donated towards the shelter as a charity overall. In this way, we can eliminate that mistrust that's inherent in the standard begging model. We can instill a sense of dignity in the process of asking for help, because we're turning the askers into fundraisers for their own cause. We're trialing several methods at the moment, and it's a perfect time to be working on this. The e-payment market is growing incredibly rapidly, and more sophisticated payment methods are becoming available. Many people even believe that we're headed towards an entirely cashless society, making an app like this even more relevant and necessary. We're actually preparing a pitch for Visa as well. We're asking them to create a limited version of the Visa card. It could only be used at approved vendors. This means that a giver would donate directly to an asker's restricted account, and that account could only be used with approved vendors. So instead of just being able to pay for shelter, they could pay for food, clothing, transportation, anything that they needed that was provided by a registered approved vendor. We believe this will also help promote financial responsibility within the askers, because they will be managing their own accounts that are based on what they've earned by being collectors of donations for charities. This ability to pay without cash and to know exactly where your money is going will open up many potential future applications for the Spare Change app. This could include donating to charity bucket collectors, paying big issue vendors, or supporting street buskers, whether homeless or not. And all of these transactions would guarantee at least a percentage was going to charity every single time. If you have any questions, advice, ideas about our project, we're very open to hearing them. We're still in very early stages. We'd particularly like to know how you think this system would work for you as a giver, and why you would or would not want to use it. Our website, sparechange.gives, is coming soon, but you can contact us in the meantime, contact@sparechange.gives. Thank you.
Okay, so what's your skill set then, and how did you come up with this, and how are you working together? It's just you two, is it?
We have one other team member who's not available tonight. So I come from a background in anthropology and sociology, and this idea just came from walking through Oxford city streets and being asked over and over and over again for help and not knowing how to help. I often will tell people when they ask me, I'm not going to hand you money, but where's the shelter? Where's the bus stop? Where's the what do you need? I will take you there. I will pay for it. And there are often a lot of reasons that this isn't feasible. The shelter is clear across the side of town. The bus isn't coming for an hour. There are a lot of reasons that it doesn't work, and especially in the overall public's daily schedule to be able to do this. So that's where the idea came from on my side. And this is my friend and colleague, Phil Nixon, in the IT department here at Wolfson. We just got to talking about it over and over again and figuring out how we could develop it. And we've brought in another person from the university system who's an alumni relations officer, and so she has experience in marketing and fundraising.
Do you think there's any way that you could develop what you've done to enable givers to define those people that have chosen a life on the streets and those that are there through no fault of their own? Because personally, I want to help the homeless, but I want to help those that are there through no fault of their own. And there are people on the streets who have actually chosen that life. And I think this part of the problem, I mean, maybe I'm being mean, I don't know. But to me, part of the problem is that where's the motivation for those people that stayed on the streets that are now have this card and are having, you know, their bed paid for, their transport paid for? What's going to get them off the streets? Because I guess I would rather see education to get those people off the streets that have chosen to be there.
So part of the thing, there are multiple aspects to this question. Part of the thing is, although there's nothing to say that there aren't some people who have chosen this life, there is overwhelming support to show that most of the people who are in this situation would rather not be in this situation. And so that's one of the things we're looking into, is looking at what is the actual face of homelessness. We're starting out in Oxford. We're hoping to eventually go nationally in the UK, and if it's successful, there's no reason it couldn't extend abroad as well. And so a big part of that project would be looking into what is the actual face of homelessness in the places that you're using it and tweaking it accordingly. Another part of it, though, is that since the app would be giving not only to this person's individual night in a shelter, but also raising for charities as a whole, it wouldn't always be local homelessness-related charities. There are many great programs out there for addressing the wider problems of homelessness, and we would be supporting those at the same time.
I'm very interested in that sort of idea of giving small payments very quickly and efficiently between people. What other systems are out there for those sorts of transactions?
For electronic transactions, there's new ones coming out all the time, almost every month now. Obviously, you've got PayPal type transactions. PayM is one that we think is very quick. It doesn't involve exposing your bank account details or anything like that. Our priority was to make sure that people trusted it, and that they didn't necessarily have to associate credit cards, debit cards with the app on the phone, because it's a new thing, it's not a well-known brand, they might be reluctant to do that until it's more established perhaps. But we're looking for sort of reliable, fast methods that don't involve any cost or very minimal cost. The PayPal did a special micropayment system, which is we're looking at. It would take about 10 pence out of a £1 donation but that gets proportionally smaller if the donation is bigger. So we may have to take that hit. The pay-em system is totally free at the moment, so all the money would go to where it was intended.
How will you get your idea from sort of design to actual delivery to those people who are most in need? How quickly could you see you implementing this?
So I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't put too many restrictions on how a charity chooses to market themselves. I think that this is a big problem we currently have, that charities are being told reduce overhead, reduce overhead, reduce overhead. But how are you ever going to get your idea out there to help people if people don't know about your idea? So marketing is going to be a key part of what we do, making sure that the average person walking down the Oxford streets knows that there's this alternative available.